Okay, welcome back to the channel. So today we've had a loft hatch that's been moved. Fairly easy repair. We're just going to go over it now. I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to get a finish on it without sanding. Some on your trowel, come across. Now first things we want to do is we're going to try and cover these scrim lines. Also, we've got lips. You hear that? So we've got lips on the boards. So we've got to try and bring it through and flatten it at the same time. Fairly easy process. You can see I'm just putting some in the joint there. This tape's a nightmare, keeps falling down, but never mind, we'll get it. We'll come across that line there. Okay, when applying this filler, you want to try and keep your edges as tight as you can. So as you see, I'm ruling off what I don't need, and although that's exposing the scrim tape, I'd rather build it up in small layers than try and get it on in one hit. We're having a nightmare with that bloody scrim tape today, boys. Right, so get some over your tape, bring it over. Again, cover my tape. I'm going to bring it across now, all the way across. Take away that heavy there. Okay, so we've got a first coat on it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to let that pick up just slightly, and we'll give it a second coat. In the meantime, I'm going to add a tiny little bit of water to this, make it a bit wetter. We'll go over and then I can give it the second coat. So you see on my first pass, I'm trying to keep my trowel fairly flat to the ceiling. It doesn't help, but I've got a light fit in there, and we've got a smoke alarm there, but we'll get over it. So we're getting a bit on my trowel, I'm going to come across. Like I say, build it up in layers. Don't try and go mad with it and overfill it. Now we're going to come across. I can see I need a little bit more just in here. You all right, bud? Sir? Okay, sorry about that, YouTube, we got interrupted. Electrician's got to come and he's got to move this after all that messing about. Anyway, I've wet my gear up, so this is still my Easy Fill 20. Just put a splash of water in it. I'm going to bring it through now. Get rid of that heavy. I'm going to bring it through now. I'm going to give it a light second coat. We'll try and get some of this scrim covered. Like I say, build it up in layers. So when we start, we're going to go past our originals, further out every time. That way we're keeping that edge as fine as we can. And because we've wet this up now, it'll be easier to keep that fine edge. So again, just one nice pass with the trowel. What you'll find with this Easy Fill is as it starts to dry, it'll suck back and shrink slightly. So when you build it up in layers, it helps to do fine layers rather than put it on heavy, and then, like I say, you've got all that sanding to do and it's just turned into a nightmare of a job. Oopsie daisy. Right, so we'll bring this through now. We'll bring this wet in. We'll come across it this way now. Still see I've got a couple of little hollows. Okay, we're getting there now. A little bit on my trowel again, just come over and across. Same from this side. Okay, now we're happy, we've got that fairly flat. We'll just tidy these edges up. Okay, so we've got it on, we've got it fairly flat. Now you can still see the scrim tip just very slightly, but as that dries, that'll cover it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to give this 10-15 minutes for it to go off. Like I say, it's a 20-minute easy fill, we've been at it 5 or 6 minutes or something. Let it go off a little bit more, and we're going to get the Pro Mix light out, and I'll have to cover all the way across this. I'll probably come all the way up to that ceiling line as well. So there we go. Like I say, give that a little bit and then I'll show you how to finish it without sanding. Now I've got another top tip for you. Just bear with me. Right, sponge float. Now somebody asked me the other day on the channel, sometimes when they're applying these coats, that they get a ripple effect. So let me just put the sponge down. So what I mean by ripple effect is when your trowel's skipping over it. So sometimes when you're putting it on fairly heavy, like that's not that heavy, it's only a couple of millimeters. Sometimes, I mean, I can build this out up to 10-15 millimeters. So there's a trick for you. Sponge float. Now you're going to think, no, don't do this, you've got it nice and flat, but I'll go over it. So sponge float, nice and gently, you want moisture on it, you don't want it soaking, but you do want some moisture on it. And all you're going to do is very, very gently, you just want that leading edge of the sponge float, just to gently pull. There you go. So you see it's just taking it and leaving them lines in it. Now, just put that in the bucket. Okay, now I don't know if you can see this now, but we put lines in it. So the lines are running that way. So I can always get a bit more there, just come over and flatten it. You can just flatten them without, sometimes you might have the odd little bit left in there, the odd little line. But you'd rather have the odd little line that you can go over and fine fill again than uneven filler. So you can handle the odd little line. I can say you build it up in layers. But yeah, it's a top tip for you, that one. If you can't, if you're struggling to get something flat, come over it with a sponge float. But what you'll find is that'll move your stuff around and it'll get it to go flat. Instead of your steel trowel, it's just going to skip over the top of it. Right, I'm going to give this trowel a bit of a clean now. Luckily we've got our trowel back YouTube. We left it on the job the other day. We had a nightmare last week. Okay, I'm going to do a little talk about my trowels. So, for all of you that have been watching my channel, you'll know this is my go-to trowel. This is the trowel I use 6 days a week, 7 days a week when I'm working. And I've had it, I don't know, 3.5 years. It's well broken in, it's got a slight curve to it. And it is absolutely razor sharp. Absolutely razor sharp. Now, when I talk about trowels, this has got a little bit of flex in it. I don't know if you can see that. So it gives a little bit, but this is a super flex, Rafina Rose Gold Super Flex. We'll pop that there 1 minute. So last week I left my trowels on another job. I had to go out and I needed a finishing trowel, and the only one I could pick up was the Ultraflex, Ox Ultraflex. Now for me, this is a little bit too flimsy. See if we can see. Or if you can see the way it bends, it's just too much giving, this one, for me. I mean, it's a nice trowel, don't get me wrong. So if you were to start doing this sort of work, you would need to go get an Ultraflex or at least a Superflex. It's no good trying to hit this with a hard carbon steel trowel, stainless steel trowel that's hard and stiff. So, top tip for you. get yourself an Ultra Flex or a Super Flex. Now this is starting to pick up a little bit now, so I'm going to go and get my Pro Mix Lite, and what we'll do, we'll finish it with that, just for the laugh. We'll leave that up there for a second. Okay, so we've done our first 2 coats. Now I've got some Pro Mix Lite, I'm going to bring it right the way through, show you how to finish it without sanding, and we're going to go with this new Ox Ultra Flex, see how we get on. Now, you can see, I've got a tiny bit on my trowel, and I don't need to cover the full length of my blade. As I start working this, it'll push its way along. So I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So I'm going to build it up again in layers. Each time I'm going to come past my original pass. So a little bit on, trowel flattish, then bring it up and roll off. So again, past my original pass, trowel fairly flat, put some on, and then take it back off. There we go, you can see it's already now starting to spread along the length of that trowel. So I'll bring this through now, we'll try and do it a little bit faster. I'll get a bit on my trowel, I'll start past my original, come across, and across. So again for me, it's a case of fine filling. I'm trying to do the fine filling and keep the edges as fine as I can all the time. We're getting past the original. Getting a bit on my trowel, past the original. Getting a bit on my trowel, past the original. I'm going to bring this through now. So past my original again, come right the way along with this line now. Again, past my original there, so I'll keep it nice and fine. So what do we make of the Ultra Flex? Well, I'll be honest with you, I've used them before, they're not bad. If you're getting into this new at filling, at doing any of this drywall repairs, Ultra Flexes can be really, really good and helpful. So you can see I'm going over in layers, and every time I'm ruling back off what I don't need. Now the idea of that is when I'm applying it, it's giving it the air that it needs to dry. If I just put it on in one coat, it won't get enough air to it and it won't dry properly. You'll find it'll be all horrible and gooey, like chewing gum underneath. It's a nightmare. So do it in layers, let the air get to it, it'll start sucking in and drying a little bit. It's easier to take it back off with your trowel than it is with sandpaper. Bring this edge right through now. Okay, bit on my trowel, bring this edge right through. And take off what I don't need. Okay, I'll bring it through from here now. I'm going to come right the way across. I'll bring it up to this edge. That'll save me wetting that edge down. A bit from this end. Again, another pass. So now all we're trying to do is take off any of the heavy that we don't need. And we're looking for that smooth finish. You'll know when you've got the smooth finish, your trowel will tell you. If for instance you're leaving lines like that, there's too much gear on, you're still not took off what you need. So again, another pass. Just keep working on the trowel. As it's drying now, we're going to get a finish on it. Don't forget this is brand new out of the box as well. So it's not been broken in. Okay, I'm going to give that a couple of minutes now. I'm going to bring these edges round. Okay, so when I'm bringing these edges through now, this is just to keep that fine edge that I'm after. Okay, a couple more of those over the centre. Now you can hear that's firming up now. Okay, so now I've got a sponge float. Now even though these edges are nice and fine, we still need to finish them. We're going to come across with a sponge float. I'm just going to put, it's got a bit of moisture in it. Now I'm not looking to go over all my work, I'm only looking to go over that very fine edge, that last edge that I put on. We're getting sponge float. And all we're doing, keeping them edges wet and allowing us to get that fine finish that we need. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to run my sponge float across there, just so it's got a little bit of moisture for when I trowel through. Ox Ultra Flex, a quick wipe. Make sure it's nice and clean. We're going to come now, we're going to pass these edges. We're going to have the trowel more on edge. You can hear that scraping. So that's just taking that moisture and that bit of fine fill. That's all it's doing. So with my second pass, literally nothing. But you can hear it's already drying. Again, barely anything's coming off. There we go, got a little bit off that edge this time. But you can hear the trowel scraping across it. Are you ready? Can you hear that noise? So that's telling me it's pretty dry now. Okay, so I brought the edges through. I'm just going to get that gear off here, give it a quick wipe. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to come across, give it a couple of passes, just to make sure we've got rid of any moisture, everything's nice and flat, it's all dried in. So when you're doing drywall repairs, yeah, you can do it, you can leave it, sand it back after. There you go, nothing's come off there. You can do it, leave it, sand it back afterwards, absolutely fine. I'm not telling people how to do the job. But when we do site work like this, a lot of the time, we don't get the luxury of coming back the next day to sand it. So it's a case of getting it filled and covered. Now you're going to say, I can see that scrim. You can't feel it. So when that dries, that'll lighten up, everything will go white, and you'll not see it, it'll be covered. So just because there's a visible line of scrim there now, as long as you've got it covered and it's flat, again, covered and flat, then it's absolutely fine when it's painted. Okay, so if you like what you're seeing, like and subscribe, maybe go out and treat yourself. Personally, this has been my favourite trowel for the last 3.5 years. It's a Rafina Superflex. I absolutely love that trowel. It's belting. In fact, you can see, again, lovely trowel. So, either treat yourself to an Ox Ultra Flex, Rafina Superflex, I prefer that because it's a little bit stiffer, but either or weight, you can get a finish without having to sand. So if you like what you've seen, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Plenty more stuff coming on the channel. Thank you.